boy, looks like more beloved Japanese franchises are falling for the modern audience myth. So this tweet right here is pretty concerning. It says, the director of Final Fantasy Rebirth spoke the truth a few days ago. They now make games for a global audience guided by ethical reviews instead of prioritizing Japan and creative freedom. The term JRPG will soon disappear and Japanese games will be anything but Japanese. So let's see what they're talking about here. So we now create with a global audience in mind from the very start. In that sense, we are in a completely different era. What factors do you consider when designing a game for a wide global audience? There are so many elements that go into game development, from the story to every little detail in the game.
What does it mean for a game to be Japanese? What does it mean for a game to appeal to Western audiences, or to appeal to a global audience, or to appeal to Japanese fantasy enjoyers? Again, this like hand-waving of concepts is detrimental to the video's messaging, right?
Game's presentation. We conduct thorough, ethical reviews tailored to different regions, taking the time and resources to ensure our work doesn't become a source of negativity for anyone is essential in today's world. Back when the original Final Fantasy came out, it was primarily created for the Japanese market, and its global reach expanded as it gained recognition. But today, rather than first prioritizing the Japanese market and letting the game's reach grow organically, we now create with a global audience in mind from the very start. In that sense, we're in a completely different era.
Toaster cleaner. It's not about an RPG being Japanese. It's about a set of mechanics. I just have no idea. It has to have the ooh factor. You know what? This is what I'm thinking of, okay? I'm thinking of censorship, all right? Like, for example, if you want boobs to be extra big, or you want nipples to show or something, I think that might be what Rev is referring to. Is that appealing to the Japanese audience versus appealing to the global audience or something? That's just a guess. Just a guess, okay?
So that's a very concerning group of statements, just flat out saying they are trying to prioritize a modern audience, a global audience right from the start. Instead of just making good products that organically expand into overseas markets due to their likability, we're now trying to cater to these global markets from the inception of these games, which is terrible. And we see this language about ethical reviews and also not trying to become a source of negativity for a bunch of soy boys over in the West who are offended by everything. Like, this is such a terrible precedent, such a terrible...
The statement by this Japanese game developer is a complete Nothingburger. It's a complete Nothingburger. What this person is essentially saying is that maybe before, when we were smaller, we were making games that appeal to Japan, right? Like, we were just releasing games that try to appeal towards Japanese people. But then later on, as we try to expand, now we need to make games that are more global homo, right? What exactly is the bad thing here? What exactly is negative about this? Can you give me anything specific? Can you give me anything that actually tells me this might be bad? Like, at least give me a point about censorship. At least give me something about, you know, covering up boobs or something else, or localization or something, right? Where exactly is the problem here? I don't see it, okay? Here's my JRPG, as I say, fella in gaming like no games in this Steam library. Yeah. Americans don't like fan service in games. Okay.
way to approach making games. It's an absolute
True. Guys, remember when ZZZ was released and everybody was angry about how much the characters showed skin and were just basically Coomer bait? Remember how everybody was angry how all the characters were incredibly sexy and hot? Remember when ZZZ is released and they were like, oh my gosh, look at all these lollies. Oh my gosh, literally child pornography. Oh wait, no, it did not happen because people actually really liked how much Coomer brained ZZZ is.
Shame to see some beloved Japanese developers and studios starting to cave for this modern audience slop that is ultimately only going to hurt them.
Yo, your YouTube URL on Twitter is wrong. Is it now? Okay, I'll take a look later, okay?
In the long run. Oh boy, looks like...
Okay, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about here. And what, he gets like 51,000 views off of this one complete Nothingburger video? I can edit it right now. Yeah, it's not Foodshops anymore. It's oh yeah, Foodshops was taken, right? Yeah, there you go. Okay, now I should be correct. Yes. ZZZ is good. They dropped a Aaron character who is a furry cat girl with huge bazongas. You're talking about God. Her name starts with a P, right? Fuck. I forgot what the name was. Yeah, works now? That's good. Oh, Pokra. Yeah, Pokra. Yes. Okay, I don't know what the fuck RevSaysDesu is talking about here. I genuinely don't know what the fuck he's talking about. But okay, spit your shit, King. Spit your shit. See, this is why I genuinely wonder what happens when Rev discovers one of his favorite games is made by like 500 black people. I'm trying to explain this to Victoria. Sorry, overplay joke, okay? Overplay joke. Okay. Okay, yeah, this was a complete fucking Nothingburger. Like, why the fuck did he even make this video? It's just like fucking pure slop. Like, this is slop in every definition of the word. Welcome to any newcomers. This is my alt channel where I regularly upload clips, VODs, and extra videos, so make sure to subscribe. Okay. We like JRPGs because they're J, damn it. What does that mean? Can somebody please explain what this means? Can somebody please explain what it means for a game to be Japanese? Please? Can I look for any answers? Do you mean like people who are just like looking Asian and no black people in your games? Like what are we talking about here, right? People bought JRPGs because they weren't Western. Okay, which part of JRPGs is turning Western? The irony is that their attempt to reach a wider... These are like very highly upvoted comments, by the way. Their attempt to reach a wider audience and to avoid negativity. They've created negativity and distrust in the people that otherwise would have bought and enjoyed their game. A game made for everyone ultimately isn't for anyone. Wow, that's really deep. Gamers buy Japanese games because they're different. Japanese devs, hey, Westerners are buying our games. Let's change everything we do to be just like everyone else. Ah, yes, a brilliant strategy. What could go wrong? Yeah, okay, yeah. Like, this is just 2.5 minutes of complete nothing. It's literally 2.5 minutes of complete nothing. Yeah, fuck that. Okay.
But what we're really talking about here for this conversation is 2 and 3. So number 2, an image that to a reasonable person would be virtually indistinguishable. Let me read that again. Virtually indistinguishable from the image of a child younger than 18 years of age.
Again, I don't really have any disagreement with Rev here, okay? I don't, okay? He's kind of interpreting the law that in a way where I would also interpret it, but he doesn't apply the same standard anywhere else, right? Like, that's my issue with Rev, is the consistency. My issue with Rev isn't that he's handling this specific situation wrongfully. My issue with Rev here is that he's not consistent with how he handles things. So here, we can see here that he's going full good faith mode, right? Going into the bill, going into law, looking at the text and seeing how it's applied, seeing what the definitions are, seeing everything about these, right? But then meanwhile, when it comes to other situations, such as interpreting my videos or looking at how saying how YouTube is targeting him, or saying how Japanese games are no longer making games Japanese, taking the J out of JRPG, or talking about Kingdom Come Deliverance, or pronoun options, or community rule guidelines, or something, or DEI practices. He doesn't actually dive into these as deeply as he does here, right? Does that make sense, guys? Does it make sense why I have an issue with him here? Again, my issue with him here is that he doesn't apply this. No? Fuck. How am I explaining things that are wrong? But keep going, I'm dumb. Fuck. Like, all I'm saying here is that Rev is, yes, Rev is a hypocrite. Yes, that's what I'm saying. This is one of the issues I have with my good friend Shofat Ataku, right? Is that typically when it comes to the left, he loves generalizing them. But when it comes to the right, or any kind of anti-SJWs, he loves to dive into the nuances because he actually likes them more than the progressives. So it happens all the fucking time.
These people are making this bill, unless they turn around and say, oh, we're actually going to make another amendment and get rid of all this. Unless they say that, nothing really changed. They just added a new section for AI, and they're going to use these standards to deal with it.
Rev is like diving into the Cornell Law School for looking for the nuances that he wants. Why doesn't he do this for anything else? Why doesn't he delve into Cornell Law School for anything else? What the fuck, dude?
Okay, this exact thing.
What the fuck?
Identifiable minor, again, is something that they...
It's kind of funny how when it comes to Lolly specifically, it's time to dive into like the most detailed shit. Anything else, he's like, he doesn't give a fuck about it.
And it says, it's a visual depiction, someone who is recognizable as an actual person by the person's face. I hope there's like a community note or something that will be introduced to this tweet because it's so misleading. I think this whole situation is pretty easy to understand if you look at it for more than 2 seconds. If you actually look at the statute.
But you look at most things in 2 seconds. What the fuck? You look at most things for 2 seconds.